Hi, Gretchen. How are you?
Hi, Keela.
Uh,
I'm doing
hey,
good. Happy Thursday.
yes, it's your Friday, isn't it?
No, not yet. Um, I guess so. Let me see. I'm in private practice, so I work when I work, I guess.
Yeah, me too. Right?
Yeah.
Not
Hi,
probably a good
everybody.
idea. Hey, y'all. How are y'all? Um, and we got is Hockey Town John our mod today in there because we got
Hmm.
Kathy backstage where we have to have her.
Yeah.
So hey,
So,
got
Keela, you said you wanted to kind of just check in with people and do a live today, right?
I did. I know that I have videos planned for more than once a week. Right now, just things with it's just not kind of meshing and finding the right schedule. So I thought maybe we could just come on here and do maybe a quick Q&A, not long. We don't have to be on here long, but I just want to
Mhm.
let everybody know that we are still here.
Yeah.
And thanks for all the support. Do you know that we went from 127 to over 560 from from the first interview with Reese, and
Yeah.
then it went up more with Tori. So I just appreciate this community support.
Yeah. Um,
Hey
and,
Blake
and we
and
have Brian in and Sophia.
Sophie,
Sophie,
yes,
sorry. Huh?
Sophie. Yes, he said, yeah,
Deanna. Nice to
yes.
see you.
Hey Brian, Brian, I'm looking for you. Probably I have to get with Gretchen. It's gonna be Sunday or Monday. Brian's our next on board.
Yep. That'd be great. I'm looking forward to that talk.
I am
A-
too.
And Anna Banana, hi.
Hey, how are you?
Yorkie Mom, how are you doing today? Good to have you here.
Mm-mm, not yet. I will. I had my tire go flat or almost go flat on my way home. So it was the funniest thing, Gretchen. I got home. I mean, I'm talking. I had Blake jumped in my car
Yeah, I
talk.
saw that earlier.
Yeah. Well, so I called Daryl and I said, hey, my car's showing low tire. Well, of
Hmm.
course, all the roads were flooded anyway, and I had to go through this deep water. And he said, not another tire thing. Just bring it home. Well, I got home and found out what it was. Our 19-year-old, her BMW tire run flat had like literally that big a hole in the side of the tire wall where she hit the
Yeah.
railroad tracks. I'm like, oh. So that's what he was like, okay, not a tire again. He took mine up there and it was all four were low.
I think that might be an analogy that, right? Like when your tire goes flat, that's a sign
Yeah,
you need to
maybe
slow
so.
down.
I need
We've
a
been messaging a bit, and I know I've heard like I'm glad that you know, they're asking about you, checking with you because I'm wondering too, like, is Keela resting? Is she sleeping? Is she getting a rest? And myself too, like I don't know if I sound stuffed up, but I got sick this week. I was in
oh
Vegas
yeah.
last week. Yeah, and then I came back and it just hit me. No COVID or anything, but just like it felt kind of
Out of
like that because it just kind of came on
out of
abruptly and
breath.
then
Out
yes,
of
and
breath.
just
Yes.
like flu and
Yeah.
cold like symptoms. And I'm
I
just
know
like,
that's COVID. I know. No, yeah. The new COVID.
yeah, and I think
It,
that's how we kind of came upon this kind of thought today is like, can we talk about, I mean, we're open to anything kind of Q&A
yeah,
and
we
talk about
abs
today, but like burnout because I felt
okay,
like that was
Brian.
my body kind of saying, "Hey, like put on the brakes, like slow down."
Yes,
Sometimes we need that.
that's really I'm glad you brought that up. Did you see on the community page where I put the anxiety tracker?
Yes.
Okay, so my therapist gave me that 2 years ago when I first started seeing her, and because I don't think it's I don't think my anxiety is much lower, but a lot of things are better. But she gave me that, and I had to fill it out every single day. She said it didn't matter what time of day, just make sure every single day I filled it out. And I was like, "What does it matter?" Oh, it matters. It shows a pattern, and that
Yeah,
help us figure out what we need to change.
right.
So yeah, I really utilize that every day. So
Yeah, and then, I mean, even tracking down to, like, what kind of environment you're in when you feel more anxious, what time of day, what were you doing,
yes.
who were you talking to or whatever,
And
right?
that's a big one. Yep, that was a big one. It was, okay, so in October, my uncle passed away unexpectedly.
Um,
He was he was my rock. Like, after my dad died, he was my rock, okay, so and, I really loved my uncle very, very much, and, he was the closest thing to dad I had left because him and my dad were almost like best friend. They were best friends. Well, me and Daryl were out our first date night in
mhm,
a while, and on um, October 8th, I got a call. You need to go. You need to go to your nana's house. I'm like, why? They were like, I love how people put it so gently. Your uncle's dead. You need to go. I guess they think
gosh,
being a paramedic or being in the medical field, you don't have feelings about
wow.
any of that.
Yeah, but
Just
it's different when it's your family, when it's your people in your life.
my mom did the same thing. I'm living in Louisiana when my dad got murdered. My bonus dad, he's my stepdad since I was 5. He raised me, and he got murdered here in the same town I live in. And all I heard, I had just come off a 72-hour shift. I heard, um, Keela, get down here. Your dad's dead. Click.
Yeah,
All right, people. That's not the way you deliver that kind of news.
yeah,
Ooh.
yeah. I mean, no matter how it's delivered, it's gonna sting, but when it's so blunt like
Mhm.
that, it's just shocking. Um, yeah,
And
and like you said, so when I think about that, I think 72-hour shift and you get such, like, blasted with that news, just like boom,
and I had the flu,
you're
and
overloaded. You're
I was
overloaded.
literally going to get Medral IVs in the hospital, in the ER. Every time we dropped a patient off, he was giving me IVs and steroids just so I could make it through.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't think you're ever really safe on an ambulance. I'm not saying don't say you're safe, but just remember that we work 72-hour shifts. And if on that 71st hour you get a call that you got to bring a patient 4 hours away, you got to take it.
Ugh, yikes.
Little secrets.
Yeah. Um,
Anyway,
so
enough about me. I'm fine, y'all. I just was very tired.
so what is, well, you can lead it here. I'll let you kinda guide it, but when you thought about, like, the idea about, like, the topic today is, like, boundaries and burnout, I
I
think,
think
gosh,
that's
those
perfect.
well, and they're both connected, big time.
Yes, and
The
you
more
have
burnt
the
out you're starting to feel, the more you gotta put those boundaries in place, right?
and
In some
that's why
ways.
you are the professional on that one. Because 'cause I'm not
Well,
too great at it, I don't think, sometimes.
so what we could do, Keila, I don't know what you would like to do with this, but, kind of open up to the
Sure.
the chat here and see if anyone has any questions.
Yeah,
I
that'd be
mean,
great.
both topics are pretty huge to talk about, but, are people feeling burnt out? Are people do they know when they what that looks like for them? Or,
I
questions
didn't.
about boundaries?
Yeah, I truly didn't know what burnout was until I burned out.
Mhm.
Oh, Yorkie mom, no worse than anybody else, I promise.
You know what the hard part is, I think sometimes, I found
Fa
this,
family.
when you suck at boundaries, especially, like, let's say in one particular relationship, or all, but I mean, whatever. Just and you start to put boundaries in. I don't know if anyone's ever tried that. Put in,
Oh, yeah.
and then all of a sudden there's some reaction. There's
Oh,
some
yeah,
reaction
put
there.
pushback, definitely. If you don't have those boundaries from the very beginning and go into whatever relationship it may be, whatever, environment it may be, if you don't have those boundaries already set and you're doing like what I'm doing is trying it not I don't use the word try. What I am doing is setting those boundaries. People don't like that too much. Like I said, I go to my office and it's like a bunch of roaches scattered. No,
Right.
no
Right.
employees in sight because I have boundaries and
Hmm.
I've sticking to them. And
Right.
it it works. It's hard. Nobody said it'd be easy, but it works.
That's right. I'm sorry to hear that, Yorkie mom. That's a hard place to be. Especially if over, a period of time, like you said. I live in burnout. I have for years. Um, does anything help? You want to put in the chat? Um, I think sometimes we feel overloaded. I mean, what helps you, Akila? I'll start with that. What helps you when you're
Um,
feeling burnt out?
I think I probably let it get built up to the point. My mom always is really good at compartmentalizing, and she taught me that, which my therapist said she wished she would never done because I'm really good at compartmentalizing. So I don't really feel that burnout. I just keep pushing myself until those compartments bust open, and then I'm in a mess. So
Hmm.
that's something I am working on currently because I don't necessarily feel like I'm burned out because I always just take those little pieces that will make burnout and I just put them in my brain, compartmentalize in little files. But I promise you, those files are going to just bust because they can only hold so much. And then you're going to be in a mess like I am.
Hmm.
This is the big mess.
Right. Unfortunately, Hockeytown John, unfortunately, I feel like so many of us can't recognize burnout until it starts to affect our health. True that, Hockeytown John.
You sound like
And
my
then it
therapist.
can't be ignored. Would be nice to have some tools that help us identify the signs earlier. Um, yes.
Absolutely. I know what he's talking about. My signs are the anxiety tracker. If I start having the physical symptoms, if I start having the palpitations that are not what I'm used to feeling, if I start having increased blood pressure, if my legs are as big as my thighs, or my waist, if all these medical conditions that I know that I live with every day that are stable, but I mean they're still there. If they're overloaded and they're overworked, I need to take a step back
Yep.
because I'm no good to anyone else if I can't take care of myself. And seizures is my trigger because I have epilepsy. So if I have a seizure, my therapist goes ape crazy on me.
Mhm.
She's not want that happening. And so she's made me slow down a lot. But that's where I start. And he's right though. I don't notice it until it's already there.
Um, yes. So I have kind of a quick and dirty way of answering your question to Hockey Time, John. Um, I was trying to multitask and I can't do that very well right now. Um, One is so it's important, right, that we have wellness things that we do daily or whatnot.
Yes.
So I'll tell you something for me. Maybe this is TMI, but why not, right? We're on
Not
this mental
here.
health
We're good.
matters, we can talk. Um, my like daily hygiene starts to right? So like if like I have nice, washed hair today. But if I start to like you know, um not care as much about appearance, daily behaviors like if you like everyone's so different, but if you, like, for instance, stop making homemade meals and just go, like, stop at fast food because you just don't have the time, if you're getting less sleep, if you canceled out, going out with a friend to do something fun because you have to do more work, or you just, or alternatively, if you're just so exhausted and you just feel like, ugh, I just can't have another obligation. If you're feeling like even fun stuff sounds like you dread it, like the feeling of
That's
dread
right. No, that's right.
comes up a lot when there's
Yeah.
burnout. It's like not
I don't
motivated,
I don't
not
wanna go to the
wanting to
grocery
do
store.
anything. Yeah, you socially isolate.
Yep.
The daily behaviors, like day-to-day behaviors, you might not
Mhm.
do as much of, or they decline. Um,
Yes. That is so true, and I never looked at it that way, Gretchen. That's really good information because I always my mind goes to what I deal with the most. My mind goes to, well, am I getting depressed or do I have am I dealing with another issue that's fixing to come up that I don't know about? But you're right about that. I've never that's a good way of looking to notice like some self-awareness and insight to that.
right. And everyone knows what they're like, what we call baseline, where you're
Yeah,
at
from where
usually,
you're yeah. If I'm off
and
my
then
baseline.
where you are when you start to decline. If someone, and I could also post it in the thing afterwards, but it's, if you look up Wellness Recovery Action Plan, it's
I'll
WRAP
get it.
for short, and there's free copies of it online. You could just put Wellness Recovery Action Plan free PDF or whatever. Comes up. It's a mental health tool, but it's like a huge, like, 30-page doc, so you don't have to go through all of it. But what I do like about it is it
Wellness
encourages
tell me
Wellness
that again.
Recovery Action
Action
Plan.
plan. Got it.
Yeah, and it was first developed for people with substance disorders, substance abuse issues, but it since is used for people with, depression, bipolar, anxiety, a bunch of things, and it could really help with burnout. So it's something that, like, you identify things that you do every day, things you do weekly for your wellness, and then signs and signals that things aren't going so well. So, like, for instance, when we call a symptom, that's something you feel, right? Like, you're
Right,
feeling
right.
sad, you're feeling tired, you're feeling lethargic. A sign is something that other people can observe in you. So that's important to also check in with other people. Like, and hopefully there's people, if, people around you, friends, family, or whoever, that say, hey,
Mhm.
um, you know, we haven't seen you out at that certain thing that you do every week. Where are you at? Or we've noticed you're, I don't know, you know, are you sleeping okay? Like what just happened with tequila, right? Are you sleeping okay? Like checking in with each other, of course. So that's something that can be really helpful.
Okay, did that share?
Let's see.
Can you get it up? Can it did I do it right? If I didn't, I'll have to start over. Or
Yeah, I
did
can
it
see on the
just
screen.
yeah, but did it show did it go up where we can move up? No, it didn't.
There's I don't know if this one's a doc, but if
No,
not, I
I actually oh, you want the document? Okay, I can fix
well,
it. Mhm.
either way, it doesn't matter. It's okay, but just for people if they want to use a tool.
Okay, yeah, I got it
But
right here.
so that's one tool that might be helpful.
I'd never heard of it. That's really I'm looking for the PDF. There's
Yorkie mom. Some of it's my own fault. Don't say no when I should. Part of it's a situation that I don't have a choice on. Yeah, and that comes down to what's in your control, what's outside your control. Some things we have to let go of if they're outside of our control, and try to deal with that and process through it. And like you
I
said,
think you already got me. So
we do have choice. Oh, thank you.
I just put the post there.
Yeah,
But John got before
awesome.
me.
Yeah, and so yeah, saying no, that's assertiveness and boundaries, of course. So that's a good thing too, to learn that and be more comfortable with that. And
That's
like
we have a
people
lot of
say,
people that are not.
no is a, what's that?
A lot of people are not comfortable with that word.
Yep. No is a complete sentence, right? That's what they say.
It is, and a lot of people do not like that word. Hey, honey. Izzy Dizzy Bang Bang is here, and so is. I'll wait till you get to her.
What? Oh, you want me to read this?
Okay.
I'll read it. Izzy Dizzy Bang Bang. Hello. I keep one day one day a week reserved for no work, and I make sure I do self-care things. For me, playing the guitar, awesome. Before I even give my husband attention. I'm lucky he understands.
Whew.
And that's a wonderful. I'm glad you put that up there and as something, because I think also communicating that to the people around us is really important, to have them try to understand why those self-care things are important to you, why they're important to us, each one of
Yeah.
us, to tell the people in our life, because they might say, hey, like, this is your day off, and say, okay, well, I need to play my guitar because I just need that time, and then I'll be more present for you, right?
And that is so true because I know people get sick of probably hearing the same, oh, put your oxygen mask on before you put your child's on in the in an airplane. If they, something's happening, they tell you always put your oxygen mask on first before you put your child on.
Right,
I never really understood that until I understood it. You have to be able to take care of yourself before you can take care of anybody else.
right, right. And a banana. Do you want me to
And a
read,
ban
Keela,
Yeah,
or
you
you
can
want to
read
read them?
them. No, you
Okay.
can read them. That'd be great because I got
All
this
right.
trying to fix my light.
All right. Anna Banana. I find it hard trying to set boundaries with a coworker who wants to discuss things I'm not comfortable with. That can be a
I'm
hard
going
one.
I'm going through
That's a
that too.
hard one. Hmm.
Well, it's not a coworker. I am the boss, so it's a real touchy situation.
Hmm.
So, Anna Banana, how are you handling that?
Okay.
Oh, oh, hey, Sophie.
Sophie, or if they never recognize the boundaries in the first place and you start being, quote, mean
Oh,
about it after 5 years, people don't like that. Um, Very true. Very true.
that is true.
And I think we have to reframe that, think about it differently, that setting a boundary is actually an important way for us to create
Yeah.
a sense of, what's the word, respect, and in
Oh,
a way it's kind of a sense of safety sometimes. Speaking to Anna Banana's point earlier, like if someone's intruding on your boundary and they're trying to ask you things, it's like not
it's
very safe. You don't feel
disrespectful.
comfortable.
No.
And so, yeah,
So I'll
there's
tell
going
you
to be reaction. Yeah.
the queen of boundaries is in the chat, Hermina.
Mhm.
Okay. She is the queen of boundaries. She can set a boundary like I have never seen. She can state it and she enforces it. And I told her if we when we have a week on boundaries, I'm like, oh yeah, you're got to come on.
So maybe we should be asking her for her wisdom in
Oh
this point.
yes, so come on. I mean, I
Not to
get her
put you on
wisdom
the
every.
spot, but to put you on
No,
the
I get
spot.
it every day, so she's good. But she is. Will tell you.
Izzy Dizzy Bang Bang. I think a lot of us who are caregivers, or at least me, like to focus on others as part of my own coping with life, and it's hard to put on the brakes. Yes.
Okay, so there's a book that's called by um Gabriel Mate or Gabriel Matt, however you say want to say his name. The Caregiver Burnout when your body says no.
Ah,
Yes. Very good book. Caregiver burnout is a real thing. Trust me, very real thing. And it's
yes.
your mind, your body. He was like he connects it all together. Of
Yep.
So that's a good book.
And caregiver burnout also, there's that feeling of, I think, guilt that comes along with it. Like if you need respite and you feel like, okay, to
Hmm.
ask someone to help, to hire someone
Yes.
to help out, to not to be able to do as much, even if physically you're able to do it, to emotionally or mentally to just be tapped out, to say, hey, I need to, like you said, put on the brakes. Very
Yeah, and
important.
that comes with another boundary you got to set for yourself. And what did Tamina? What did Tamina say? Let's see.
Okay.
Oh,
and then we'll get
She
to
said,
Kelly.
"Ha ha." Oh, see, I'm sitting. Mine's background was going backwards. I think.
um, she said, okay. I always say boundaries require a lot of practice. Self-care and self-love are important. If you heal and you are okay, everything else in your life starts to go where it belongs. That's a good point.
she's
Very good
she's
point.
got so great insight, and she's so good with.
Yes, very much so. Kelly, BC, I spent 30 years running a large rescue society. Bless your heart for doing that. I felt myself burning out but kept pushing and pushing myself till one day I literally could not get out of bed. Yeah. Our bodies will
Mhm.
eventually tell us no more. Um,
Yeah,
so
your
that's
mind,
our part.
your mind. If your mind is stressed out up here, your body is not going to continue at its. It. I believe it's our mind that we get burnt out in our mind, and it affects everything. I mean, it's just everything. It affects like Gretchen was saying earlier. Your sleep, your things you used to do, your patterns, your baseline behavior. I mean, yeah, you've got to have self care.
And burnout may not look like depression per se, but it could look like complete indifference and apathy. That's
Right.
oftentimes what comes in with burnout.
True.
So,
Very true. I mean,
I mean, for me, setting boundaries is about protecting yourself, and setting healthy boundaries is really important in our healing process. Yes, and part of it, if you're talking about interpersonal boundaries, it's um, when I did therapy. I've done therapy different various points of my life, and but when I first did it, when I was in graduate school for my part of my training, I remember my therapist said, "You teach people how to treat you," and I thought, "Wow,
yes,
that's pretty." Just that simple phrase, it's like, "Yep," and
life changer.
yep, and that's what boundaries do in a way, right? If
Life.
they're
That is such a life changer when I was told that. You're showing people how to treat you.
yep, what you'll put up with, what you won't put up with.
That's right.
Um,
And
you know,
then God forbid you're an empath and you know what's the target is the narcissist, and here we go. We see it every day.
yeah.
We're all part of that, I'm sure. Or most. Mhm.
Sophie, people don't generally associate overload with apathy. Well, um, it's the more dangerous system usually. Let me see if I can get this. People don't generally associate overload with apathy. Well, it's the more dangerous system usually. Am I getting that? That apathy is more dangerous?
I think that's
Am I?
what Sophie meant.
Yep. Maybe maybe I'm just because I'm sick. I'm not processing that one. Um, yeah. No, apathy is it can be really.
A
Um,
symptom. She said, okay.
what's that?
Sophie said it's symptom.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Yeah, apathy can be a real hard one because it's just that indifference and then just that kind of checking out feeling, being numb, kind of apathetic.
I just went through that, I think. I think that's maybe why when I had this neck surgery, I just wouldn't go back.
Mhm.
I knew because I know that's where my heart is. It's where my job is, but it's not just a job to me. And that's, but I was staying away intentionally because I didn't want, I just, it was my feelings. I had my feelings.
Right.
Nothing else around me, mine.
Yeah.
And I actually got to do a lot of self introspection with that, and um, go back to where I knew what was going to be there going back. That's what I do. Just have to learn to figure out a healthy way to deal with it and process it. But I did go back, not 5 days a week, but just like this last 48 hours, I was just like, wow. But it was pouring down and storming, so they didn't come beat on my door but twice.
um, and Yorkie mom, 65. Were there We're there with my mother-in-law. I begged yesterday for a home health care person to come on a weekend a day, weekend day, so we can get out and do something together. Great idea. Um,
Did
really
they
need
do that?
maybe. Who knows?
I don't know. I would
Hopefully.
like to know if they did that because home health is hard to get in Texas anyway. Home health is hard to get on the weekends. The only I can get hospice out at any time, but
Yeah.
home health is real. Wait. I mean, what's going on? Hang on. Let me see. So, you know I love you, Hamina. Oh, spam again? You're not spamming. You can talk. Setting boundaries. Okay,
Okay.
let's see. Think. Oh, because she's writing,
Yeah.
and I said, okay. Think my feelings don't matter. Oh, okay. Because I just saw that up there, and I was fixing to
Yeah.
say, "Huh, girl, you better know better." She better
Um,
know better.
yeah. Like with Liz's chat, they do pineapple, right? If something flags and it's
I was
serious.
the first person to use her safe word in there.
Yeah.
I saw
Um,
somebody saying some stuff in that chat that scared me about not being on this world anymore, and I'm like,
I know.
oh, okay. I just typed it. I didn't. The first thing I did because it was scared me to death that day.
I think we met once a month. I'll take okay, that's something. And you can start there.
Mhm.
And I think once I find that once people are get used to both the person that's being cared for and the caregivers themselves get used to an outside person, whether even if it's a friend or family member to giving them respite or if it's a hired person that they're coming in, it it can become if it's routine and they get used to it, it can be really um a wonderful thing. And I've had experiences with people I've talked to. It's like that they they become like kind of integrated in the family, not like they are
Mhm.
family. I mean, in a way, they're just become more comfortable. And they're also another side benefit is that you have another set of eyes and ears on the person's condition, you know?
Absolutely.
So that's a wonderful
We
thing.
we have CNAs that come out through hospice for our hospice patients, and I have one hospice patient. She's 76, and it's the worst case of schizophrenia I've ever seen, and probably the worst case of dementia we're getting. And
Mhm.
and because her CNA, I mean, you cannot change. They don't do well with change. We try to keep. I tell my employees the only constant is change, but you don't ever bring that inside there. You better learn to adapt to it out here before you bring it. You don't bring that inside. So she, her CNA cut her hair and colored it. It's been 6 months, and she's just now letting her come back in there to give her a bath. We had to get somebody else to come do it.
Mm.
So, I mean, even little changes like that.
Yeah. Yep. Izzy dizzy bang bang. I used to get mad and stressed when people asked me to do something instead of just saying no. It still feels weird, but it's better than getting mad and being all stressed out. Yeah, getting comfortable with that, and I think inevitably, if people get used to the fact that you can say no, and that you may say no, they can also plan accordingly. I've had, we've all been in the situation where we get in a pattern where someone asks you to do something last minute and you say, "Oh, okay." And then
Yeah.
next time they ask you to do the same similar thing last minute, "Oh, okay." And it becomes this pattern where it's like, is that respectful of the person's time or that they would ask you something last minute and you just agree to it? So if you say no, they'll figure it out,
Yeah.
you
I
know, and
mean,
and then you say, "Hey, I can maybe do it next time, but I may be able to do it next time, but I need more advance notice than last minute." That kind of thing.
uh, go ahead. Hey, Dan. I'm fixing to pull something up. Gretchen, if you can
Yeah,
read that,
yeah. You want me to read this one? Deanna
please.
Downey, question, not necessarily now, but could you do a live on agoraphobia and ways to deal with it, please? Sure. Um, agoraphobia is tough. It's a difficult challenge that many people have. And it's, something that, yeah, we can definitely cover that. I mean, we could, if anyone has any suggestions, obviously, um, besides agoraphobia or addition to, I should say, agoraphobia, put in the chat. We'll go back and read those and make a list of things that people may want us to do some videos
Yes.
on.
I don't know if I'm gonna
Um,
be able to drag this, but I found well, I know I've posted the one that I always have on my wall in front of me at work every day for boundaries because that is something that I just have to um
yeah.
let me okay, so let me see if I can add this to
Okay.
okay, here we go. Oh, that one maybe.
In here.
Um, no. There it is. Found it. Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe if it'll come up like it's
Well,
supposed to. It's not gonna work. Why can I do this? I did this plenty.
okay.
I'm gonna quit trying to share anything. I mean I've really had it shared to the screen and been able to present it, and I'm not understanding what's going on, but that's okay.
Any
So
other questions or comments? I mean, I know we have a lot of people. Seems like a really important topic. I mean, a lot of people have some things to say about it.
yeah,
So if we have a person coming in the morning and it used to be the same two people or persons. Unfortunately, there was a change in management, so it's more people, which is relieving us. Yeah, and I think that's um, talking about
mm,
adaptability to change, or I think that's something I think happens with caregivers. But that's nice that you have that in place for to help out.
yeah.
Um,
I mean,
you want to read this one?
but yeah, but what Gretchen says, it is so important. You teach people how to treat you, and you set your own value, and we are all valuable. Yes, we are, and you are too. I mean, you've been through a lot, and she's still strong as she can be.
Yes.
Izzy, on respite care for family caregivers is so underfunded. Is okay. So let me ask you this: Is it hosp? Are you talking about just hospital? I mean, like home health or hospice? Or because I know in Texas we get 5 days. Hospice pays for it. You don't have to pay for it. Hospice gives 5 days a month. Oh, home health. Yeah, we don't. They don't even offer that in home health here. No, but we do get 5 days a month on hospice. Like if that we can get hospice. Yes, hospice is amazing, and it is not what everybody thinks. Like, oh, let's just put them on hospice and they're gone. No, I was on hospice, guys. 2 years. I'm still here. You actually
Yeah,
get better on hospice because you're not running to these doctors. You're not running to all these appointments, and your body has time to be in your own environment, in your
hmm
comfortable home environment, and if it's going to help fix itself, it does. And thankfully, I'm still here. Home health. Home health. I was trying to read that home health in there it is. Our case, she gets 42 and a half hours a month. Wow. Wow. I need to check into that. We have a lot of home health residents that would love that just to get
yeah.
away from us, probably.
Yorkie mom, I promised myself in January I would schedule me time every week. Poof, hasn't happened once. Well, no time like the present to start, Yorkie mom. Hey, it's partway through the year, and you can, and sometimes we don't realize how a small change can make a big difference. So even if that means, I don't know, going outside for 5 minutes just to get some sun, it doesn't have to be something huge. If it means, um, sometimes for me in my house, it's getting some quiet time away from uh, the nice chaos, but the chaos that is my household sometimes. So,
Yeah, my therapist tells me that I am surrounded by chaos, so I bought a shirt that says chaos coordinator.
yeah, right.
But no,
So,
it's just yeah, it's that's yeah, that's all I can say is I agree.
so Brian, hello, Brian. By the way, Brian, you're always so kind to say hi to. I always see you in the chats, and you say hi to me. You say hi to everybody,
Everybody.
and I mean, you are. I'm looking forward to this talk on Monday.
We're
So
gonna do it Monday. We're gonna do it. Yeah, that'll be great.
or Sunday,
No,
whatever time. Yeah.
no,
Uh,
whatever's good for you. And Brian is fine
okay. So Brian,
because I'm
don't know if I'm feeling burnt out. I've been feeling stuck. Um, I hear that. Yeah. What? And I know
writer's block.
I wish we could have a, right away, but
He can
s-
he can come
yeah.
back. Mhm.
No, but stuck is something a little bit different, right? It's like you can be stuck in one area of your life and maybe not be stuck in all areas of your life, or just feeling stuck overall, feeling stuck emotionally. Um, so that can happen. And then if anyone has any feedback, how do you get unstuck? Has anyone gotten from that stuck place and then you somehow shift it and you get unstuck? What's helpful?
Shelley,
Walking in nature works
outside.
wonders for the brain.
Mhm.
Yep. Connecting, getting grounded in that. There's something about that. I don't know. I want to quote some research, but just in terms of just taking off your shoes and socks, if that's something you can do, and just or whatever body
Mhm.
part, hands, arms, elbows, just kind of grounding yourself in the grass and sand, dirt,
Five,
whatever you
four,
have
three,
around
two,
you.
one. Mhm.
Yep.
And if y'all
Yep.
forget what that is, just look at one of the shorts on this video. I mean, on this channel, we have the presentation up there. Kathy animated it, and it's great. And it goes through the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and I use it every day. So
Another thing that I was just going to say, and I often recommend this to people that I work with, is like a sensory box. And oftentimes it's been recommended for people, kids and adults with autism. But I think it's a wonderful tool for everyone. And why I say that is things like you can touch, like almost like the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, but like having it real tangible. So like having a picture you can look at that you find relaxing, or even on your phone.
mm.
But it'd be nice, if anyone remembers what actual photo, like a paper photo looks
Kathy
like.
and us,
Yeah,
she sent
I
me
love it.
in the mail. She had a bunch of my photos that I just had digitally on Facebook and my Instagram, and she had
Yeah,
them printed out and sent them to me.
awesome.
I haven't had real pictures in so long.
Yeah, I know. Photo albums,
Is
remember
it?
those?
Yes.
With
I got some down there.
the saran, what was it? Like the
And
film that
yeah,
pulls back?
yeah.
Yeah, those are the
And then it never
good old
sewed back
days.
down afterwards.
But like a picture you can look at, a
Mhm.
smell that you love, that could
Yeah,
remind you of a nice memory, or even just something that relaxes you, something you can touch. Like I love soft things to touch.
yeah.
Like I'm a knitter, so I love like if I'm going through like they're probably like, what is this lady doing? I imagine most people do this, but when they're like in the yarn store, Joann's or whatever, I'm sitting there like feeling like I'm a touch person. I'm touching all the yarn. I love the soft ones. Um, Even something you taste, like, something like, maybe a hard candy or something that might have a certain taste, a piece of gum. So you can do that as, like, a sensory box that might help to kinda,
Yeah.
where was I going with this? Like, we're talking about calming, soothing? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just like more grounding. Wait, what'd you say, Sophie? I do dance breaks and get fresh air to get unstuck. I walk
Mm.
in North Sea mud if possible. That's cool. I started one, but it. I thought this was really cool. I'm gonna bring it up real quick, right here. Bella notes. She says, "I was feeling stuck initially with my job, but it's converted to burnout." Okay, so you have the insight to recognize that. That's good.
Mhm.
It's not my deep. It's not my dream job, and become more difficult with those in leadership. However, I know my job. Thinking of getting out.
Mm.
So that's some good insight. A good plan in place.
And you make a really good point, Bell Notes, is the idea of choice.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Sometimes if we're feeling stuck, either we don't know exactly what options we may have, or we're kind of stuck in our kind of what you call default setting of just like, I'm just stuck. I know this way and it's just become automatic and I don't know how to get out of it. But knowing that you have choices and maybe being reminded or maybe even asking for feedback, what are some choices that we may have? Because yeah, you're right. Leadership changes or you're not happy at your job and you may feel like you're beholden to that job, but there's choices to get out. You're exactly right.
Yeah, that was a good one, Shelley. And go ahead, Christian.
Okay, Shelly, grounding is awesome. I sleep with a grounding mat. Promotes healing and great for blood flow. Grounding mat. And I've heard of a weighted blanket. What's a grounding mat? I don't know if I'm familiar with that. If you don't mind putting in the chat,
Yeah,
I'd
because
be
I don't know what
interested in
that
hearing
either.
about that.
I have a weighted blanket.
Hmm.
Ah,
Mental health matter. Sour candies are proven to help shock you out of panic attacks. I did not know that.
okay, well, I did not know that either. So I hate those stupid crybabies in there. So I guess next time I have a panic attack, I'll grab one. I don't like
Well,
sour candy.
interesting. Like they kind of maybe switch the momentum or do something. I didn't know
I don't
that.
know. That's pretty cool.
Okay.
That's pretty cool. That Kathy in. I can't tell who's who. She uses mine sometimes. You're muted. Are you muted? Is it me? Can y'all all hear Kathy? I mean, Gretchen? Or can y'all hear me? No, they can't hear you. It's Gretchen Chet says.
No?
Up now, gotcha.
Okay, I'm taking these off. We'll try it that way. Sorry about that. Okay.
It just went. It just quit.
Um, Hockey. John. Tactile therapy works for me too. Soft things are soothing. Exactly. Um, Sometimes people like even just those, I mean, what those, all those
Right
finger
here.
things that people have are, help with that. I have jewelry I touch. I like my pendants or my one,
I
or
wanted
my,
to throw these
yep.
through the
Just
wall when they
and
first come out,
pocket things people have had, or even the stress
and now I have
balls.
it
I
all
mean,
the
there's so
time.
many.
Oh, here's my stress ball. You'll have to see my stress ball. Mental Health America. Great. There's my there's my stress ball. It's a brain.
Nice.
Yep. As long as my dog don't find it, we're good.
That's right. Those dogs, they get a hold of a
So
rocket,
yep.
don't they?
So,
I feel the same. I feel this. Sorry, I'm not saying your name.
Hamina.
Hamina, thank you. I don't know why I'm having a brain block there. Hamina, I feel the same. So I'm still working, but taking courses on things I like, and I will eventually leave. So this is just a job with a means to an end. And I think that's
And
a good point too. When you start to think about your job differently, and not that it's going to be like you're going to be there for a long period of time. You think, okay, this is just something I'm doing for right now, and I'm going to move forward. Then it's maybe easier to tolerate, and some of the
Knowing
things that
that
are
there's a
going on.
light at the end of that tunnel, maybe.
Right, right.
Yeah, that's
So, okay.
oh wow. Okay.
Bell notes, government facilitating jobs careers is my biggest challenge in changing. I'm my only source of income, no safety net. Yep, just got to jump, but weighing the stress between the two. Yeah, understandable, completely understandable. Um, because you're completely self-reliant and you have that's there's a pressure there, right? Like you said, no safety
Yeah.
net. So you have
Yeah.
to
It's
figure things out ahead of time. Makes
hockey
sense.
town's on. Yeah, let me tell you something. I can't stand them. Um, he brought them home when their safety day. They had a whole box of stuff. He always brings me all his little gifts home from their safety day. And I was like, I can't stand it. I can't stand it. I can't stand it. And now I find myself when I'm sitting here nervous or something, just but let my employees or okay, clicking of a pen, swinging keys. I will literally say stop. Can't do it.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is in me, but it triggers something that literally makes me. It comes out like that, and I'm not that, But yeah, it's very much over. If I hear it more than 3 times, a click, 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 I'm like, put it down. Just put it down, please and thank you, but put it down.
Well, and you
And
know
for your
what?
own safety, step away.
I sent you that self-assessment quiz today. I don't know if you saw it, about empaths, and you've identified yourself as having real, like, a lot of empath qualities,
Oh,
or
God.
if not completely an empath. And that's one of them, is being very sensitive to sensory information, like noises and smells, and that sensitivity
Yes.
level. So that makes sense too on that level.
And it's weird because I always put some of that to me having epilepsy into seizures because I don't even know if this is I don't even know if it's possible, honestly. I'm not even asking my neurologist, but when I hear or feel the bass when they crank the radios with the bass up and it's knocking pictures off the walls and everything else, it's just like it makes I go into a panic attack because I had a seizure that was started by that one time that just the boom, boom, boom.
Hmm.
And I've never had that. It's always been either stress or lights, flashing lights or something like that. But
Right.
I literally went into a seizure because of that, or that was the last thing that I remember as I guess. I don't know because being post-ictal, you don't know what you're doing. But I really so I've attributed that sound to seizures, and then I automatically start getting anxiety through the roof if they even drive down our road and I hear a bass speaker. And I think
Huh.
it's because and this
You
is just a
associate.
realization I'm having right now. I think it may be just because I associated that with it.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's like a conditioned response
Mm-hmm.
to it, of course. Yeah, that's so interesting, though, how we can just, like, that can just bring on something like that. Powerlize to paralyze. Hello. Nice to see you. Thank you for joining us. Thank you all for joining us.
Yes.
Um, After making a major discovery and a research project, it is typical to decompress and sleep a lot over the days that follow. Oh, is it? Are you saying is it? Sorry, I lost that. Can you put it up
No,
again?
yeah, no, yeah. Is
Is
it?
it typical
Yes,
to decompress and sleep a lot over the days that follow?
especially if it's something that takes you longer than your normal research projects, adds more stress to your life, and you know it. I do believe it does. I do.
You know, and this is mine. I haven't done a whole lot of research in my background, but the people that I know that, I mean, do research, in terms of an academic setting, for instance, there is a lot of pressure to publish articles and get things in journals and stuff. So if that's the case, there could be, I mean, if you're trying to meet a deadline, like any deadline, you're going to push and probably be doing stuff, I would imagine sleep might
He
be compromised.
he's hey Adira. And he's probably had a lot of. I've been trying to follow on his YouTube on his channel. I've been trying to follow the things that he's working on, and it is deep, and it is. I mean, I can't wait till when he's putting on his videos. But yeah, he's got a lot of
Yeah.
research, and
So
it's taking a
so
lot of
you're doing a
time.
lot of research, and you're wondering if that's like, is that you're saying that's your experience, that you need to get decompress and sleep over a lot of days of fall? I'd always say, listen to your body. Your body's going to tell you, what it needs. So if it needs that sleep, do it. If you have the time and you can, or make the time. Yeah. But I would imagine it depends on kind of, but I would just think the mental energy and the, you know, focus alone, that's a big strain, I'm sure. It takes a lot of energy.
Mhm. Okay, Kathy. Yeah, we're fixing to be done here. I'm gonna respect everybody's boundaries. Mhm.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry, Gretchen.
Oh, no, no. Izzy Dizzy Bang Bang. I always thought my sound sensitivity was ADH related. Don't even get me started on the horrors of leaf blowers. I hear you.
Oh
Um,
God, that's
sound
another one.
sensitivity. Now, sound sensitivity, I mean, it can there's so many different
Very
reasons for
welcome,
sound
Paralyze.
sensitivity. Yeah. There's so many different reasons for it. It could be, I don't know, maybe if you've been told it's due to your ADHD. I have fibromyalgia, and that can be something that impacts like sensitivity to stimuli, like, like sound. And I know, like, for instance, it's a constant battle with our TV volume with my husband and I. He's like, and I'm like, can you turn it down? He's like, I turned it down. Can you turn it down? Um, anyway, um, and then things like some people have sensory disorders, actually. So that
He
can be a component. Yeah.
he's got in there, and I cannot vacuum the house or run my carpet cleaner while he's home because he's worked in the plants I mean, most of his life, and he's got what's he call it? Sound fatigue.
Oh, interesting.
And I didn't realize, I mean, 6 years, 6.5 years, it was just not long ago that I realized how bad it was. He literally had a physical reaction to me turning the vacuum cleaner on.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, he just couldn't handle it. He was shaking, and I mean, I could see the look on his face. I was like, "Oh my God." I turned it off. I was like, "No, no, 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 no." But I didn't realize that he has worked in the plants. It's made him so sensitive to sound. So now he has that. He calls it uh, sound sound sensitivity. What does he call it? Sound
Yeah.
fatigue.
Sound fatigue.
And it's real, and it causes a physical reaction in him if he hears anything that sounds. But he can go out there and work on his hot rod and motors and cars, but anything that sounds like the plant or what he
Oh, how
humming,
interesting.
I guess.
Yeah.
Plant it, yeah,
Okay.
it's
I
real.
think we might need to wrap up, right, Kila?
Yeah,
Here? Or
they do. Yes.
okay.
Yeah, thank you for coming. We just wanted to pop in, and I don't want to respect everybody's time. Oh wait, how you turn on? Let me see. Oh, so that does too. So I guess it is. And see, like, I guess sirens should bother me, but they don't. They just make me watch you get out of the way. But absolutely, I do, my friend.
Hi, Dara.
But I'm gonna be the first one to say thank you all for being here. Thank you all for
Mhm.
coming. Thank you, John, for modding. Thank you, Kathy, backstage. Thank you for taking care of everything. We really want to do this more, and we're going to do this more. Sometimes I might be flying solo and pull somebody up on stage with me, just like I did with Blake today, But
Yeah.
because Gretchen is handling so much. If y'all have not been in the Facebook group, you're missing something. I'm telling you, it is. It's just. It's real in there, and that's
Yeah.
something that. Yeah.
I'm loving all the support that people are giving each other. That's the point. I mean, that's really the point.
Hmm.
It's not for me to, I mean, I post, websites or helpful tips or, ask check in with people, but it's really, I love that people are giving each other support because that's the point. So,
I
yep.
know that we've got to. I had. We'll get there and look later. I was gonna see if anybody's put any. Like I made those first two topics on the chats, but I don't know if y'all want to get overridden with chats or if it's good the way it is. Because you could put a new chat for each topic in there every time, like on the side. So if
Okay.
people want to go talk about PTSD over here, if people want to talk
Okay.
about something else over here, you
Yeah.
can add in there a different chat.
All right. Yeah, we'll work on something like that and see what we can. Yeah,
I just put those
I like
first two
that
in
idea.
there.
Yep.
Because I remember you telling me you wanted to separate it. So I figured that would be great, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, if people want to do that, it's all kind of
Hmm.
as it evolves.
I think we're doing it's doing great though that everybody's so happy, and I'm so happy that we have support, and we're happy to have you, Gretchen. Very
Happy
much
to
so.
have you too, Kayla, and all of our people that work behind the scenes. Hockey
Oh my
talk.
gosh, we're nothing without them.
Yeah, we're so
Okay,
appreciative.
well, I do appreciate y'all, everybody, and y'all have a good night. Love you.
All right. Bye bye.